Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm getting ready to go mill. Actually, it's in my front yard, so I'm not going somewhere, but I'm actually doing some prep work for some milling that I'm going to be going to do soon. And so here's what I want to do. I wanted to show you kind of things that I take with me and make sure that I have them with me when I go to a mill job. There's nothing worse than traveling somewhere, and then you don't have what you need. It's frustrating. You're wasting your time. If you're doing it for somebody else, you're wasting their time. And so it's important that you kind of have a checklist together and things and do it in an organized manner that works for you. And so I want to show you some things that I've done and that I do to help me to make sure that, man, when I go, I'm there and I haven't forgotten anything, so that when I get to the job or to the site, whether it's to mill my own lumber or to mill it from somebody else, I'm not wasting time or having to stop and go back, but I can just keep going. And if I run into any snags, I've got what I need and I'm able to move forward and continue to go. So I'm going to do that in this video. I'm going to show you some things. I'm going to flip the camera around and talk you through some of the things that I take with me, and hopefully it'll help you. So right here, just laid out on my bench, I've got a bunch of the things that I take with me that I keep actually in like a tote right here. So I bought a big tote that I'm able to carry everything with me. I'll explain some of that later. But as you can just kind of see on the table, I'll just kind of run through the list. I take my metal detector. I have one of those. You don't have to have one, but it works. I got mine from Harbor Freight. I take gloves. Man, a brush is one of the most underrated things, but I take a couple of those with me to be able to clean out my gas nozzle and my oil nozzle for when I pour gas so I don't get dirt in it. It's also good for cleaning out your saw. I take extra files with me. I take some extra wrenches, screwdrivers, that hex thing and a screwdriver that comes with your chainsaw. I take some extra ratchet, I don't know, ratchet wrenches, whatever they're called. You can see that. I take my sharpening jig with me. I take my drill with me. Make sure you always have a full battery. I've got my other chainsaw sharpening thing there. I take a hammer. I also put everything in a bag. Those are just a few of the things that I take with me. In here, I've made some setup blocks that I can put into my mill that are a certain size that just allow me to set my depths quicker and faster. I always take my chaps. I keep extra oil in there and some funnels, as well as that little box right there in there is extra chainsaw blades. I'm not taking them with me now, but I also just have chainsaw blades hung up, not tangled, that are sharpened, ready to go, that I will take with me too. I'm telling you, taking a cant hook and some brooms is always very helpful. I take a cant hook with me just so that if I need to roll the log into a certain position, it makes it easier. I always take oil and gas. I always make sure my gas is full and my bar oil, chain oil, whatever you call it, is full as well, so that I'm not getting up there and running out of gas. I think it's a no-brainer that I take my my saw. It's going to go with me. I've got it set up here because I'm about to mill this ash log. I take my wedges. You can buy wedges. I made my own, and my own just work great. And then the other thing I take is always I make sure to take a ladder for my cutting system. I take screws for that. And then also this is just the attachment for my winch that I'm about to set up as I go. I kind of like take more than enough stuff. I also take a chain with me if I need it, some rope. I like to take my log hauler if I can, because it allows me to like move things if I need to move it. The other thing that I try to take with me is a tarp. Some people don't mind. It's out in the country. It's just sawdust. Other times, if I'm in somebody's yard, it's kind of nice for me to just clean it up for them, and I'll take a shovel and scoop the stuff up, and we have a bunch of cheap lawn bags that I'll put it in, or they'll put it in a trash bag, whatever. It's just being considerate of them with that. You don't have to do that. Those are just some things that I take. So hopefully, I know it was a quick video, but as you can see, I have a good setup, and I keep it all in that black and yellow bin, and every time I'm done, I clean my stuff, I put it back where it goes, so that, man, next time if I have to jump on something quickly, man, I'm not wasting time trying to scramble and find stuff. I know where it is. I know where it goes. I put it back. And, man, that just makes it easy. And I haven't had a situation yet, knock on wood, where I've forgotten something that I needed, and it just kind of like cut my milling job down to be like, crap. No, I always take something with me. Also take a little hacksaw with me. I'm in the process of getting another chainsaw, so that's also another good thing. My buddy I borrow my dad's or a friend of mine's when I go to is taking an extra chainsaw if I need to cut something off that's in the way, an extra limb that's protruding out, or just trim a tree down just a little bit to be able to mill it. That way I don't have to take my chainsaw mill out of its thing too. These aren't all essentials that you have to have. I've been doing this for a while now, so these are the things that I take. I think the things I showed you early on are really important to have with you. The cant hook, the tarp, maybe an extra chainsaw. Some of those things might be more as you go along with it, and you'll understand and figure out your own workflow. There's probably 10 other videos on here with different opinions than mine, but everybody ultimately is figuring out what works for them, and they're doing it, and they're making lumber and making slabs. And so that's part of the process too, is you're gonna learn, you're gonna make some mistakes, you're gonna figure out what works best for you. So the biggest thing is you just do it. Stop being paralyzed by fear or all the details, and just start doing it, and you will figure it out as you go. Oh, another reason I forgot about this. A reason I got a box is because actually the other day I'd been just keeping it in an open like milk crate, some of those. But I ran into a situation where I was out milling a cypress tree, and it started raining, and all my stuff was just getting wet. And I was like, dadgummit, I wish I would have had a lid for all this so that I could set the stuff there, as well as that lid makes it nice to where you can set your drill, your wrenches, your socket wrenches on top of it and not on the ground, because sitting stuff on the ground is the #1 key to like lose it or forget it or something, and because you're going to be have a lot of sawdust everywhere you're going to be working and moving. So I would really recommend getting a box, a container or something like that you're able to keep all your stuff in for organization, and it's just very functional when you're on the job for either keeping stuff dry or just having a platform to set stuff on so that it's not all on the ground getting dirty or getting lost under sawdust and you're spending time like trying to kick it around and trying to find something. So that's another reason I bought that, because I ran into a situation the other day. I was like, crap, I wish I had one. So yeah, that's just the final tips for that. Man, go out there, mill some lumber, and have a good time while you're doing it. Leave me a comment if you have any questions or ideas or thoughts that could help me out. I'm not a professional at this. I'm just learning as I go, and so I'd love your feedback. Anyways, keep milling. Go for it. I don't know how to end these stupid things.